Tessa from Mama's Geeky here, and welcome to the Mama's Geeky Show. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Mama's Geeky Show. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that's hopefully going to keep you a little bit more busy while you're stuck inside. I know we've all been stuck inside for way too long, and it seems like there is really no end in sight. But I've got some games that hopefully will keep you and your family occupied and having a lot of fun, and maybe introduce you to some games that you're going to want to play over and over in the future. So they're RPG games, which is role-playing games, board games. These are five of my absolute favorites that my family has been playing this whole past month. It feels like it's been a year, but it's only been a month. So let's get into it and talk about my 5 favorite RPG games. So these are all board games, not video games. I could get a whole nother list, and maybe I will, of my favorite video games for you guys to play while you are stuck indoors. But for now, I'm going to talk to you about these board games. So first one on the list is Mysterium. This game is a lot of fun, even with kids. So here's the thing. A lot of these games are recommended for ages 10 or older. My kids are 7 and 8, almost 9, but for now, 7 and 8. And we play these games with them. Maybe perhaps we shouldn't play some of these games with them. Sometimes they say they're a little scary, but I mean, they'll live through it. They'll be fine. But Mysterium is really fun because so basically there's someone who's a ghost, right? And they get cards, and you can't say a word. You gotta be quiet, which is really hard with kids. But yeah, I can't say a word. And you put down clues, visions, so to speak, that should help each individual figure out what this ghost was murdered with, right? So it's kind of like Clue, where there's like a weapon and a person who did it and a place where it happened. But the ghost has to put down certain clues, like it could be a color, right? Like maybe one card is prominently red, and the place where the person was killed is prominently red. So they do that. It's very hard when you play it with kids. It's interesting, because sometimes you're like, I don't get why that is like that. And they have this whole long explanation, and when they finally explain it to you because you didn't guess it in time, and you're like, oh, okay, sure. It's fun the way kids' minds work, I'll tell you. But Mysterium is a really fun game. It's really great. I enjoy it. We have a lot of fun, and we rotate who is the ghost, which makes it really fun too. So that's a great one to play indoors. It's awesome because you can play in a group like your family, and it's fun. And it's kind of a co-op. Like, you're not so much competing against each other. It's more like you're working together, because the people who aren't ghosts can discuss with each other. So that's a lot of fun. Next up is Horrified. You guys, Horrified is so much fun, especially if you love the Universal monsters, because the Universal monsters play a major role in this. There's like, the vampire and Wolfman, Frankenstein and Frankenstein's Bride, or the Monster Frankenstein and the Monster Frankenstein's Bride. But it's a lot of fun. And again, it's another co-op game where you're working together. So you get a character, and you're basically thrown into this town where the monsters have taken over, and you need to defeat the monsters. And there's certain things you have to do for each monster to defeat them. So it's a lot of fun, and you work together. It's really cool. You have to collect certain things and be able to play them in certain spots in the town. Sometimes a townsperson will show up, and you have to lead them to their safe place. And if you lead them to their safe place, you do get a bonus perk card that will help you a little bit in the game. It's a lot of fun to play. I like playing co-op games because we get to all work together. And that's one of my favorite things about it, is working together with my family. We're not working against each other, which is fun every once in a while to throw in a game like that. So that is Horrified. Another game that we have so much fun playing, and we don't play it often enough, I think mainly because the setup is horrendous. If we don't leave it out, the setup takes forever. But it is called Gloom Haven. It is a complete RPG. You're talking an RPG board game. It's very much like a Dungeons and Dragons, where you're going to have your own character, and you're going to play that character for months, days, however long it takes you to go through this whole scenario until you complete a specific scenario card. You pick a scenario card or a certain perk, a goal. You have a goal for your character, and you have to meet that goal. Once you do that, your character is retired. But it can take a very long time, lots of scenarios in order to do that. And you form a party. So basically, everyone in my family, we have our own character. It's really fun. We get to go through, there's this massive book that tells you where to go, and there's certain things, and there's, you break open the door, and inside there's 10 skeletons you have to defeat or whatever, and you have to play to defeat them. You play cards, and it's basically a Dungeons and Dragons type game, but it's a lot of fun, and you level up your character. You get certain rewards. You get certain like special boots or special amulet, and you have city quests that you can do and road quests that you can do. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, and I love that I'm raising my kids to be little nerds because they love this game too. Like I said, the main thing is we don't play it very often because number one, it takes like a solid at least 2 hours if you're playing to get through one scenario. But then the setup is like, we need to have a spot in our house where you can just leave it like set up, because the setup itself takes forever. But it's so fun, you guys. So that's Gloom Haven. It's a lot of fun. We got it for Christmas, and it's been a blast, and it's one of my favorite games. And if I had my way, we'd play it every single day. But my family's like, okay, we're sick of this. We just calm down. We'll do a different game and we'll come back to it. But we all love it. We have a lot of fun. My husband's about to level up, and that's why I really want to play again, because I want him to level up. But anyways, next on the list is Disney's Villainous. You guys, this is something I just discovered recently, and I'm a big Disney fan, huge, massive Disney fan, especially Disney villains. So how I never discovered this game before, I don't know. But it is a lot of fun, and you get to pick a different villain that you get to be. Now there's the main one that has 6 villains, but then there's different expansions that have 3 villains, and you can even play just the expansion by itself. It doesn't have to be like, there isn't a main piece. Each person has their own board. Each character has their own board. Each villain has their own board, and you need to have a certain a certain task you have to do in order to win, a certain objective. So like Scar needs to have a certain amount of power or strength, and Dr. Facilier has to rule New Orleans, of course. So you're working towards that your own common goal, or your own goal on your board, and everyone else kind of is working on their own stuff. But you can also work against other people. You can use what is called a fate card to throw a hero on a hero on their board and mess with them, and maybe they have to defeat that hero first. For example, if you are the evil queen, your goal is to, of course, defeat Snow White. Why not? But if someone plays Doc, you have to defeat Doc before you can defeat Snow White. It's very interesting. It's a lot of fun. You can be any of your favorite characters, really. I believe there's 6, 12, there's 15 right now that you could be, which is really fun, and they keep coming out with expansions, so it's really it's interesting, and it's cool, and it's a fun family game, especially if you're a Disney family like we are. And last but most certainly not least is Mansions of Madness. This game is something we've been playing for a while now. It is a lot of fun. It's actually super interactive because you have an app that you can use, which we hook up to our TV. So we watch it. We do the app on our TV, and it's similar to the Dungeons and Dragons Gloom Haven type thing, where you're working together. You pick a certain character. That character has a perk. That character has a certain amount of sanity, of horror level. Like if you pick too many horrors, if you get scared too many times, you go crazy, and then you have to pick a crazy card. And you have to do something till that. Like my husband got one where he couldn't talk the whole rest of the game, or we would lose. So we're asking him stuff, and he's just not talking. We're like, what are you doing? And that was because his person was crazy, and that's what he got, and he couldn't tell us what it was. That was fun. And then also you can end up wounded if you lose all your health. So it's interesting, but it's cool because you go in and they only tell you, like, here's your opening, like the foyer of a mansion that you go into, right? And here's an interaction token here. So there's something going on over there. You can interact with that. There's this, and here's this explore token, and it's on a door. So you open up the door, and then the app will show you what goes next. And you have all the board pieces to put down so you can physically see where you're going. But again, a lot of fun. Also, they have tons of different scenarios and expansions for that. Some of them, though, can take a long time. Like there's one that we looked at to play the other day, and it said it could take 5 to 6 hours. And we were like, yeah, I don't have 5 to 6 hours to sit and play. We actually do have 5 to 6 hours because nothing is going on in the world right now. But we didn't feel like sitting down and playing it for 5 to 6 hours. You get monsters that you have to defeat. It's a ton of fun. Great game for the whole family. Again, another co-op game. You have to work together. I love the games like that. Those are my top 5 RPG style games, but there's a lot of other fun games out there. I'll get you guys a list, and I will put links to all of these in the description so you can get them. Now, as always, I think it's really super important you guys support your local comic shop, especially in this time of need. Most comic shops do have board games just like this. Mine does. Mine called The Comic Shop in Oswego, New York. I love that name, The Comic Shop. It's so perfect because that's what it is. I always say, I'm going to the comic shop. It's fantastic. They have an online website now where there's shipping and all that stuff. So if you don't have a local one to support, feel free to support them. But I'm going to talk now to Evan about what they're doing, how this has been affecting them, especially gaming industry wise. Apparently, there's some really awesome stuff that a lot of gaming companies are doing to support local comic shops. So let's learn about it. Let's check it out. All right, guys, I'm talking with Evan Coy here. He is the owner of The Comic Shop here in Oswego. My favorite comic shop in the whole world with the best name ever, The Comic Shop. How are you today?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing good. Hanging in there. Lots of board games to keep me busy, which is what I want to talk about.
Don't let go.
I know. So you were telling me the other day when we were talking that board games were actually selling really well before the world went crazy.
Before the world went crazy, yes. And actually, Martin, the shop manager, and I have been laughing about this, that we've been selling some board games, more family-friendly Hasbro-type items off of our website, and typically Amazon is a much cheaper price. But we've noticed in the past several weeks that the prices of like Hasbro board games like Life and Monopoly and things like that have increased by like 100 to 200%. So we take a lot of pride, I guess, that our board games currently are much cheaper than Amazon's board games. And there was I think a push before the world kind of came to a standstill, where people were looking for ways to, hey, if we are going to be stuck at home, what are some other entertainment options for the family and ourselves? And there was a big push for some board games right before things kind of shut down.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's been keeping us busy. Like I've said to you earlier, my kids are home, all day, every day. And it's like, what can we do that we can play, like something to keep us all entertained? And so we've actually purchased a lot of different new board games. I know I just ordered an expansion for Mansions of Madness from you guys.
Thank you very much.
So excited to check out. Yeah, I mean, and we've always loved to support our local comic shops, and I love that you were telling me that there are companies that are making it easier for you to support your local comic shop in this time.
Yeah, there's actually an interesting initiative going on right now from GAMA. It's the Game Manufacturers Association, and kind of to show their support, there's a group of about 30 different publishers, I believe, that are offering incentives that directly benefit retailers, including like drop shipping, profit sharing, delayed releases. Again, there's like 30 publishers of which you can order the games directly off of the publisher's website. They'll direct ship the games to your home. And when you order that game, you can specify, hey, I normally buy my games at the comic shop, and they will actually partner with the local retailer to then provide a percentage of the sales to the actual local brick and mortar shop, which is tremendous. All of these retailers have slightly different promotions. I'll send you a link, or maybe you can even post a link in the comment box below that kind of highlights some of this stuff. And we'll also have a link on our website, OswegoComicShop.com. If you are looking to purchase a game, again, a lot of these manufacturers are doing a great service to local retailers who, unfortunately, like our distribution chain is just kind of shut down at this point. There's a lot of things that we can't get. And those retailers that can direct ship are direct shipping to customers, and they're also helping to give a little bit back to the local brick and mortar shop. So that's great.
I love that they're doing that. I really do. And I always tell my viewers to support your local comic shop, support them. But especially now with the weirdest thing, no new comics. It's bizarre and I hate it and I don't like it.
So there are no new comics. And I know we're talking a little bit about gaming, but DC, we just kind of finalized some orders today for DC is looking into a different distribution channel for a certain number of their books.
Really?
We won't be getting any new comics next week, but I believe the following week we'll start to get some DC titles in. They're not the heaviest hitters, but there's still some good stuff. There's still some good stuff in there. Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkman, Harley Quinn. I think they delayed the release of Batman '92 until June, but there's some decent books. So we're excited about that. We're going to try to figure out how that works. We just placed an order through them literally within the past hour to get some new books, but I don't believe it's going to be this coming Wednesday. It'll probably be the following actually following Tuesday. I believe DC's is going to ship them a
Oh.
day earlier than usual. So
Ooh.
New Comics Day might end up on the short term being on a Tuesday.
Hey, that's exciting. A day earlier, feels like.
Yeah,
Anything
yeah,
to keep us excited in these
that's
times,
right.
I'll tell you.
That's right.
But so I know you said you're not the biggest gamer, but are there any games that either sell really well or you do play and you recommend that people check out?
Yeah, I've got a few games for you actually. One of them being Star Realms by White Wizard Games. Let me see if I can get this on camera.
All
Oh,
right.
I don't know what I'm
Oh,
doing. I don't know what I'm
there
doing.
you go.
There we go. I'm looking at myself and it's throwing me off
Oh,
here.
I know. I do that. You're backwards. I'm just
So
like,
Star Realms is by White Wizard Games. It's a great sci-fi deck building game. It's got really smooth mechanics. It's a two-player game, but I think you can play with up to 6 players.
oh wow.
You're like a competing space armada, and you go about recruiting new ships and new bases. You attempt to kind of undermine the authority of your opponent, and when you totally undermine the authority of your opponent, you've conquered the Star Realm. And it's got a really like nice low entry point for $15. You get a pack that 2 players can start playing right away.
Perfect.
You don't need to have 1,000 card storage box worth of collectible trading cards. You can just grab a simple box for $15 and start playing. It's a fun game.
Oh, perfect. That's great. I love
Yeah.
games like that you can just start playing.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's nice and easy. It's very simple. The mechanics are really smooth. You could just get in and just have fun. And again, for $15 between you and a friend, like just get going, start playing. It's great.
Sounds
And there are
good.
expansions and things like that as well.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I might have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else for us, or?
Another, I guess, if you're looking for something a little bit more complex, I would recommend maybe Argent the Consortium. It's by Level 99 Games. We like them too. It's a strategy modular type board game, and the thinking goes that you're at this Argent University of Magic, and they're looking for a new chancellor, and you're a candidate for the job. So it's a lot of like deception and trickery, and you use your apprentices and spell books to build influence, and you kind of secretly manipulate the votes of those on the council, and it's a very like cutthroat type game, and it's certainly a little bit more for the, I would say, advanced gamer, but it's not super complex. It's like a European style. It focuses on player interaction and the like strong core mechanisms that allow new strategies to kind of emerge each time you play. It's a great game, again, for slightly more advanced gamers, but it's not so complex you get bogged down by the rules.
Oh, that's something I might have to check out because I
Yeah.
like cutthroat games. That sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
it's a lot of strategy and trickery and trying to outwit your opponent.
Yeah, sounds like something my husband would immediately beat me in, but I would have fun playing it anyways.
Yeah, I lose a lot.
Good. At least I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, if you don't have a local comic shop to support, then you can always go to oswegocomic.com. You guys are shipping now, which is super exciting.
We are. Yeah, we've been spending a lot of time in the past few weeks basically building a website from the ground up, which I have to thank Joe Samuels a lot for that. He's been helpful on the back end of things, kind of doing a lot of our technical support. But we've got over 1,000 items listed there. We've recently updated our shipping, so our shipping is a lot cheaper. Or customizable to what you might be looking to do. We also offer local pickup, curbside pickup. So if you want to just purchase something and skip the shipping altogether and then just select curbside pickup, we can get in touch with you and figure out what's the best way to get you your books or games or comics or toys or
That's great.
whatever you might need to ride out this unprecedented situation.
Yes,
So.
it's crazy. Hopefully it ends soon. Hopefully. I think I've
Oh,
got to
my
come
gosh.
pick up my Mansions of Madness expansion anyway, so maybe I'll wave to you later today.
I do have that for you. We'll take that off Skype and we'll figure out how to get that
All
to you.
right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Evan. This has been great.
Before you go,
Yeah.
I heard that there's something happening tomorrow, possibly.
Yes,
That tomorrow
there
might.
is.
Or actually today. Today is a big day, right?
Today.
Because this will be Friday.
Yes, this will be Friday. Yeah, so today technically.
So
Ah!
I want to sing you a little. I got you a little birthday brownie, and I'd like to just sing you a little happy birthday if you don't mind.
Go
Which
for it.
I recently found out that it is copyright free. It's in free domain, so I can sing it, and we're not going to be penalized at all. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mama's Geeky. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my God! Thank you. That
And
was awesome.
because of social distancing, I will eat the brownie, so I do
Okay,
apologize.
go for it, yeah.
But I owe you one. I owe you one.
Sounds good. Thank you. Once again, guys, those games were Mysterium, Horrified, Gloomhaven, Disney Villainous, and Mansions of Madness. I hope if you guys do check these games out, you love them just as much as I do. If you do, let me know in the comments. Come back and tell me. I'd love to hear that. And don't forget to support your local comic shop always when possible. Please, they need you. They need you now more than ever.